Imagine finding an entire village completely empty. In 1930, a Canadian fur trapper reportedly arrived at Anjikuni Lake expecting a warm welcome. Instead, every cabin stood silent, meals were untouched, fires had gone cold, and not a single person could be found. What happened next turned this remote village into one of history's most debated mysteries. The trapper reportedly searched every cabin hoping someone would answer, but the village remained eerily silent. Food was still inside the homes, clothing had been left behind, and valuable supplies appeared untouched. If everyone had escaped in a hurry, why did they leave everything behind? Then the story took an even stranger turn. Reports claimed no bodies, no signs of violence, and no clear footprints leading away from the village were ever found. It was as if dozens of people had simply vanished overnight. But one disturbing discovery would make the mystery even harder to explain. According to the legend, nearby sled dogs were later found dead from starvation, even though food was supposedly still inside the village. Some reports also claimed several graves had been opened, while others found no evidence this ever happened. These conflicting accounts only deepened the mystery. So, what was the truth behind Anjikuni Lake? As the story spread across Canada, newspapers and storytellers added even more chilling details. Some claimed strange lights had been seen in the sky before the disappearance. Others insisted the village had never existed exactly as described. The more investigators compared the stories, the harder it became to separate fact from legend. And that raised an even bigger question. Over time, researchers began digging into the original reports, and the mystery became even more complicated. Some historians found no official police records confirming that an entire village had vanished. Others traced the story back to newspaper articles that may have exaggerated the events. Even the famous trapper's account has been questioned. Still, the legend refused to disappear. If the story wasn't entirely true, why has it survived for nearly a century? And if even part of it really happened, what frightened an entire community enough to leave behind one of history's most haunting mysteries? Several theories have tried to explain the mystery. Some believe the villagers simply moved away over time, and later rumors transformed the story into a mass disappearance. Others suggest the remote location, harsh weather, and repeated retellings distorted what really happened. More extraordinary ideas, such as supernatural forces or visitors from the sky, have also become part of the legend, but none have been supported by solid evidence. The deeper people searched for answers, the more one thing became clear. The mystery had grown far beyond the original story itself. Today, many historians agree that the Anjikuni Lake story is one of the most controversial mysteries ever told. While there is evidence that Inuit communities lived around the lake, the dramatic tale of an entire village vanishing overnight has never been conclusively verified. Yet the legend continues to spread because it taps into one of humanity's oldest fears, the idea that an entire community could disappear without leaving a clear answer. Sometimes the mystery isn't just what happened, it's why so many people still believe it happened exactly that way. Nearly a century later, the Anjikuni Lake Mystery still sparks debate around the world. Skeptics argue that the story grew through repeated retellings, with dramatic details added over time by newspapers and storytellers. Supporters believe the lack of clear evidence doesn't automatically prove that nothing unusual happened. The remote wilderness, limited records, and conflicting accounts have left room for endless speculation. Whatever the truth may be, one fact remains undeniable. The legend has become far more famous than any verified explanation. And perhaps that's why the mystery continues to survive, because sometimes the questions are far more powerful than the answers. So, what really happened at Anjikuni Lake? Did an entire community mysteriously disappear? Or did a remarkable story grow into one of history's greatest legends? After decades of investigation, no explanation has been universally accepted because the evidence behind the most dramatic claims remains disputed, yet the mystery refuses to fade. The silent cabins, the conflicting reports, and the unanswered questions continue to capture people's imaginations around the world. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't what happened that day, but how one remote place became a legend that still haunts history. What do you believe? Was it only a legend, or is there a truth we've never uncovered?